So hello everyone and welcome to today's ride. I'm going to take you guys to see windmills in the top of a mountain. We're going to a place called Moinhos de Gavinhos, and it's near Penacova. And to get there we have to take a route called N110, the National Road 110, which is one of my favorite riding roads. And it's one of my favorite riding roads because it follows the river that goes through my town, Coimbra. The river is called Mondego, and it's always going to be on the right side of the road during this ride. This road in particular has a lot of curves. It's better suited actually for smaller bikes. You never get to really go fast here, but it's always fun. And this was the first surprise that I got whilst I was doing this ride. There were some people doing some burns. They were burning, they were clearing the forest, and they were burning materials, and so they had it smelled like smoke, and you had firemen and policemen. I think I've already talked about this before in other videos, but there were some serious fires going on in Portugal in the last year, and now everybody has to clear their own land from excess grass and dry grass and trees and stuff that can burn to minimize the effects of that the fires had. There were 60, I believe, people that died in fires not very far from here, from this region. And so this year everybody's taking a lot more care we're cleaning out the forest so that we don't have so many forest fires. But yeah, that was one of the surprises that I had during this ride. You guys should be able to see the river on the right now. We're going to be passing near a river beach, or the access for the river beach actually, but you can't really see the beach in the video. But yeah, the river is always there on the right. When you are riding you can see it a lot better, and it's really fun. In a way, it's a good way to be in the midst of nature and to enjoy natural beauty. So a little while ago I passed by two guys wearing high visibility vests. These are pilgrims. They're on their way to Fatima. You can see two more right now, actually four, and a couple of more of them. They're actually really a hazard on the road because they think they're under divine protection, so they walk along the road sometimes in the middle of the lane, and you're just driving along and bam, suddenly there's somebody standing in the middle of the road, and it's really dangerous. There have been accidents in the past, and I'm sure there'll continue to be accidents in the future because there needs to be a real effort to educate these people that they need to be safe on the road, not only for themselves but also for the people that are driving in the road, obviously. So here are a couple of more. There they go, doing their pious pilgrimage to Fatima. I'm personally not a religious person, but I'm obviously tolerant to whatever creed you have. It's your thing. And you can see another burn right there. Somebody else was also burning and clearing the ground in their property so they wouldn't get fined by the government. But yeah, like I was talking, not a religious person myself, but obviously tolerant towards everybody. I don't care. Do your own thing. Go on pilgrimages, but just stay safe on the road. So yeah, it's a pretty cool road, like I said. Lots of curves. You can see the mountains always in the distance. And maybe I'll shut up for a bit now and let you guys enjoy part of the ride. So there you saw me. I was fiddling with my makeshift support for my cell phone. I was using the cell phone for GPS because I wasn't really sure of the way to get to those windmills. I kind of made my own support using things that weren't supposed to go together, but they actually did. I used one of those claws meant for cameras, and I also had like a support to use your cell phone on a tripod, and I used those two things together to hold my phone. So this was the first time that I tried this system. I really have to tune it a little bit so it's more stable. Since then I've tried it again and it worked a whole lot better. Because I found out what the niggles were, what I had to adjust in order to get it to move less. But that's one of the things that you're going to see more and more in this video, and it's really a dangerous thing, this, because anything that gets your attention out of the road may be a potential problem, where when you're dealing with your cell phone support, your cell phone mount moving, it's a distraction, and that's one thing that you don't really want when you're riding, a distraction. But in the end, it worked out relatively okay. Like I said, since then I've done some tune-up of the setup, and I've bought some extra parts that I'm still going to test out. But in the end, when I have everything really tuned and working properly, I might do a tutorial to explain how I put it all together. It's nothing really complicated. It's just getting two things that weren't supposed to use as a cell phone mount and using them as a cell phone mount for your cell phone to use as a GPS. Again, cell phone mounts are a thing that I think are way overpriced. I mean, I've seen, I'm not really sure if they were RAM mounts or no, more pilgrims, yay. Yeah, but there are cell phone mounts that cost like $50, $60, even more, and that there's really no justification for them to be so expensive. I mean, if I can throw a couple of things together and make a cell phone mount for like less than $20, there's really no justification for the prices they're asking for those cell phone mounts. But then again, that's me. I'm a cheap guy, and I love doing my own stuff. So maybe it's worth for people that don't have this inclination to do it yourself, to try new stuff. But not for me, really. I really like tinkering, and I really like saving money. So yeah, maybe I'll do that video later about that makeshift cell phone mount that I did. And as you can see, loads more of pilgrims going about their business and making me be a lot more cautious riding so I don't run over anybody. Another thing that I'm noticing as I watch the video, if you haven't really noticed, I'm not actually talking during the video. I'm doing a voiceover afterwards. There's really a lot of wind noise inside my helmet, and you can barely hear the exhaust note of the bike. I don't really have a loud exhaust. It's the stock exhaust that came with the bike. But I've noticed that it's really difficult to capture audio of the engine, well, especially using a microphone inside your helmet. It's bad enough to try and get your audio from talking, from your voice inside the helmet, let alone the capturing the sound of the engine. So if you guys have any suggestions regarding an audio setup so that I can capture the audio of the engine better, please let me know in the comments. And no, getting a louder exhaust is not an option. It's not legal. I don't think that there are many alternatives for my particular model of bike, and that's something that I really don't want to do. I really don't think that loud exhausts, they kind of make sense in the city. While you need to be heard, I mean, it's advantageous to be heard so that people get out of your way while you're filtering. But on the other hand, while you're riding through the countryside, like I do, I mean, it's an annoyance. There's not much justification to just be annoying using a really loud exhaust. So yeah, that's not really an option. I'm not looking for a louder exhaust. But if you guys have suggestions relating to an audio setup that would help me capture better the sound of the engine, let me know. Yeah, so I was speeding. I think I was above the speed limit there, and so the red light activated by the radar told me that I had to slow down a little bit. But I was going through a town, and there may be people or dogs or children coming out of their own homes, and I should be more careful. It's funny. I'm watching this video as you guys are, and I'm actually jealous of the weather that I had on that day to go riding. May and June have been absolutely miserable here in Portugal. It has been raining constantly, and I haven't been able to ride as much as I would like. And watching this video is really getting me annoyed that I can't really do that, and that we aren't having the weather that normally we have in this in the end of spring. It's really weird because as far as I can tell, in the rest of Europe the weather is normal, but here it has really been raining a lot. So now we're going to leave the N110, the national road, and we're going to go towards the the windmills. As you can see, my makeshift self-movement mount is moving itself due to the vibrations on the street, and it's really hard to convey through the camera how steep this street really is. It is really, really, really steep. This whole part, before we get to the top of this hill, I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting that. It only gets worse and worse. And so I think it was the first time that I was using the bike with really steep hills, and I was like, come on, what's going on? Where's the power? I'm always defending that you don't need more than a 250cc. Well, sometimes you do feel the lack of power, but not always. It was really an extreme situation with a really, really, really steep hill. Most of the time it's perfectly fine, but yeah, here I felt the lack of horsepower, and back then I wished that I had a little more, but it was fine. If I wanted to get more out of the engine, I could have revved it more. I was just taking a leisure ride, so I was in no hurry to get to the destination. But yeah, you can see that it keeps being really steep. Until right about now. Now it starts to level off, and you kind of get into another mountain road that isn't very used, but that is has a normal inclination angle. So now it's just back to normal riding. Funny thing about this road, I was just thinking about that car that was parked in the middle of the road. One of the dangers that you get in these less used roads is that people don't think that they should comply with the rules. So people park their cars in the middle of the road. They really don't care about anybody else that's using it because, well, let's face it, they're empty most of the time. But yeah, you really need to be cautious and be on the lookout for those dangers. That and sand in the middle of the asphalt. It happens a lot in these mountain roads, particularly where there are pathways where people come from with trucks, and they put the sand all over the road, and you really need to be on the lookout because it's a great way to slide and to fall. You can see all of these trucks with logs with people. Well, you can see the sand actually on the road a little while back. On this area there are a lot of people that harvest the wood and the trees from the forest to sell for wood pulp to make paper. And yeah, when they get on the road with those trucks, they really carry a lot of sand, so it can be dangerous. And I guess that it won't be long now until we get to those windmills. I think that I will have to make a right turn up ahead somewhere in this really shanty town that I don't know the name of. It's funny because this looks like Portugal 30 to 40 years ago. It's like going back in time. And I have absolutely no idea what I just said there. Yeah, so there are more sand on the road. Yep, here is the right turn that I needed to take. This is a really narrow and old part of this village, whatever it is. And now we're going to start climbing up again to those windmills. I couldn't see the GPS there because of the sun that was shining on the cell phone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this so far. Let me know if you'd like me to post more videos like this with the ride, and while I comment, do voiceover on the ride, or if you'd prefer just get the raw sound from the ride with absolutely no commentary. Just shut up, Major, and let us enjoy your ride. Tell me which one you prefer. I didn't get a chance to get so much footage from the windmills. I'll post a couple of photographs that I took up there. You can see them there on the right. But as usual, when you get to a place that you think you'll be alone and that you can record whatever you like because nobody in a weekday would be there, a family comes along, man, and with children and their grandmother and whatever, and they start running around the windmills and doing a lot of noise and pointing to things and commenting and stuff like that. So I didn't get as much footage as I wanted to, but there. Let me know if you enjoyed the video, if you want me to post more videos like this. I'll be sure to try and get more footage of the places where I'm going to when I get there, and be a little less self-conscious about recording in public. And please leave a like and subscribe and watch my other videos. So, Major Sprocket out. Stay safe on the road, guys.